get it. Microphone check. Baby, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
you are now rocking with the best.
It's not some
Baby. One time,
still shining.
respect my swag.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
and this is
Another episode.
a swingers,
After dark. What time is it? It's time to get live.
and this is your host. Not some baby.
Let's go, champ.
Even when you got game, the gift of gab and pizzazz, she still might make you wait. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been times when chicks didn't want to play with me at a party, and then at the next party they was like, "Yo, you ready? You want to get it in?" I was like, "Oh shit!" And sometimes they study the stuff that you post in the groups and on your page. You know what I'm saying? That could either attract and repel, or that could either attract or repel, and that kills me. And that leads me to say, you know, social media give anybody the time to think up some clever shit to go in the inbox. Like I treat the inbox like my shit is gonna get that screenshot. That's why I don't understand. I don't understand when dudes they play themselves in the inbox. They don't know how to conduct themselves in the inbox. Either they say something lame or they automatically send a dick pic. And I'm like, you don't mac from the waist, you mac from the face. You feel me? And
Yo, wait,
like,
but that's what we talk about though, bro. That's the dudes who just don't act.
but it's like what you said recently. You starting to see a trend. I read that on your page. You starting to see a trend of chicks posting screenshots of dudes who have no gift for gab. They don't know how to talk to women, and social media exposes. Social media just exposed everything that's been going on for years. So it's nothing new under the sun. And that's why you could tell dudes, the type of dudes who will shoot a chick just because she want to give him the digits. You feel me? So on social media, instead of shooting them physically, they would rather verbally shoot the woman. Oh, you ugly anyway. Oh, you fat anyway, you fat bitch. Fuck you anyway. That's why you ugly. But she wasn't ugly 5 fucking minutes ago when you wanted to hit them skins.
Bro, you said a mouthful, bro, and it's just the psychology behind that alone. The psychology, the immaturity, behaviors like that, behavioral traits like that speaks volumes about that particular individual. You feel me?
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna give dudes or even chicks the cheat code. Go on somebody's page and pick out something to talk about. People put their whole life on their fucking Facebook and their Instagram. So all you do is go on their page and to find something that you could use as a theme for a conversation. Like if you have to
something they're really interested in, that's it.
Yeah. It's like this is not fucking rocket science, but they thinking with their dick.
You gotta charge them for that though, Wade. Fuck all that, man. Tell niggas download the motherfucking wavy guide to getting inside. You feel me? You don't tell them.
Yo, I am gonna write a book. I ain't gonna tell it. I'm gonna write a book similar to that, but after I'm done with my fiction shit. But I wrote a book in college. I haven't finished it. I'm gonna have to go back to it. But yeah, I did write a book along that vein. You understand me? But as far as the lifestyle in general. Do you think that the lifestyle ever had leadership? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people talk about.
Can you repeat that? Well, I heard leadership. I didn't quite process.
Do you think the lifestyle ever had a sense of leadership amongst the vets? Because I'm like this, you know, a lot of people say that the lifestyle is not the same, but I'm like, yo, the newbies could only do what you allow. You feel me? That's like you coming to my hood and taking over shit, and I'm like, yo, well, the hood is not what it's supposed to be. It's not what it used to be. But I allowed you to come in my domain, take my blocks, take my buildings, and run shit. So when I'm gonna go back to my original question, but when the OGs, when the veterans, the old heads, the elders, they say shit like the lifestyle is not what it used to be, that's not a good look, because it's like you allowed that shit to happen, which means that you were not strong. And with that said, do you think that there was a lack of leadership for the current state, the quote unquote current fucked up state? Because everything is perception by the end of the day, because our era was probably viewed as problematic for people who were swinging in the 80s and 90s. So do you think that there's a lack of leadership? Because if there was a sense of leadership, we wouldn't have these circular debates about, y'all youngins, y'all fucking up the lifestyle, the newbies, this, that, and the third.
I think it's the quintessential, this generation blaming the younger generation. That's what I believe it is. To be honest with you, I have experienced some form of leadership, but for the most part, I don't think there's ever been a consistent form of leadership. When I first began patronizing a lifestyle, going out to different events, there were rules and regulations. Those rules and regulations still exist to this day in that particular faction of the lifestyle. Meaning, when I go to a swing club, there's rules and regulations for that particular swing club. There's no cell phones, then there's no cell phones. If there's ask before you touch, it's ask before you touch. Those are the rules that resonate when things are being run professionally. But when you have someone who just learned about the lifestyle maybe 5 months ago, they decide to host a party, then what can they teach someone that they're welcoming in? And if someone shows up that's a veteran and try to check it, they just won't welcome them anymore because everybody wants to be a leader. I see newbies starting groups that know nothing about the lifestyle. They start groups. So social media has given people the ability to just start groups and invite who they want to invite so they can control that environment, which, again, the lifestyle is what you make it. If I don't want to be a part of something, I just don't go to that block, bro. If I know shit is popping off in certain parts of Detroit or Chicago, I'm just not going there because it ain't my hood. You understand what I'm saying? And even if it is my hood, it may not be safe for me anyway. So I just won't go there. So if I'm looking for a certain type of experience, I patronize a certain type of event. So for me, my lifestyle experience can be whatever I want to make it. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. If I'm in the mood for some fuckery, I might come to a certain particular host's event because I know that's what they niche is. And if I want a more upscale type of feel, then I'll go to another's host. So I can't really blame people and say, oh, it's their fault, it's fucked up. No, it's fucked up because there are no leaders. I don't see any leadership. And then when people often try to become leaders, they want to start becoming dictators in this lifestyle. And I don't want no parts of that shit. If I want a particular experience, brother, I create it. That's it.
And another thing, I dislike when people judge the lifestyle as a whole based on what they see in groups. I'm not going to judge Mexican food based on what Taco Bell is serving. You feel me? And there's a lot of people in the lifestyle, they're not in these groups. They do their shit incognito. They do their shit behind closed doors. So you have the commercial side of the LS of the lifestyle, and you have the underground side of the lifestyle where you don't know what the fuck they doing. Like the president of your company could throw parties and events.
And you won't know.
And you won't even know. So that's why a lot of people, especially newbies or even vets, do this sometimes. They judge like the lifestyle as a whole based on what they see in the groups. And that's like me judging the world as a whole based on a mile radius of my block. You feel me? So a lot
perception, though, Wave. It's funny you said that. Perception, because you got some niggas who never leave the hood. Never leave the hood. And because they never leave the hood, that's their reality. This is what they believe the world is.
Mm-hmm. You need to go out. You need to get even if you don't have a passport, like get up and go so you can see how people live, different cultures and different way of life and different accents. So you can have a conversation. That's a lot of people say that, I'm wise beyond my years, but I just like to travel and explore. And you have to know that you're ignorant in order to be wise. You feel me? Like you have to admit to that. And you have to put your pride and ego to the side and say, yo, I want to know about this. I want to learn about this. I was that kid who asked questions. You feel me? So that's why when I go to different cities and I say certain things about the city or about certain figures and certain events that goes on, they're like, how you know about that? You're not from here. You're from Chicago. But I'm like, if I'm going to go somewhere, I need to know what the fuck is going on. So we can have
I'm well studied.
Yeah, so we could converse. So we can have something to talk about.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like people got to do their due diligence to learn, but ignorance is bliss because they feel like if you know better, you do better. And speaking of which, do you feel like that people put you on a pedestal because of your standard in the lifestyle? Like if you say bitch in reference to women, they'll chastise you. Oh, you're not supposed to be.
I don't give a fuck.
Wait, they be like, let me get my sip on right quick.
I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous. I can't get none.
I'm sipping for two. But anyway, they'll be like, yo, Mark, you disrespecting women. You saying bitches. This, that, and the third, but they fraternize and cheerlead dudes who constantly disrespect women. Like, you may say bitch in jest, like as casual conversation, but these dudes are rigorous. They say bitches with vigor. They say it with all types of vindictiveness. Bitch this, bitch that, hold this, hold that. They totally shit on women, and they give these dudes the time of day and the pussy, but they want to chastise you because they put you on a higher pedestal. So it's like a gift and a curse. Yes, you respect me, but it's like, in a way they're complimenting you, but in another way they're being hypocritical.
What Charles Barkley said, I'm not your role model. Here's what it is. Yeah, I'm not a role model. Look, I believe it's time and place for everything. If we having just a general hood-ass conversation in the hood, I'm not going to be there using words that are politically correct. I'm going to shift based on my environment. So we're having an informal conversation. I'm going to say bitch, hoe, nigga, asshole, all that. Why not? I don't have to always be on the street because I'm not a fucking square. I don't live my life on the straight and narrow. But if I'm in a debate or I'm in a conversation where I have to use proper etiquette, then I'm going to use proper etiquette. You know, I'm not going to run into a church cursing. I mean, some people will. You think Jesus never cursed? Let's not get into that. Let me not get into that. My point that I'm making here, Wade, it's cool to be on a pedestal. It's cool people to have greater expectations of you, but based on the content of how the verbiage is being used, you shouldn't be like, oh, well, Mark can't curse because Mark said bitch because I view you this way. Would it make a difference if my dick was in you and I called you a bitch?
It's like when Sway from Sway in the Morning was interviewing Trina, and Sway, I think he asked Trina, you know, what do you think of a dude calling you a bitch? And she was like, it depends on how he says it. And he was like, well, he was like, come here, bitch. Like he put some swag into it, and Trina was like, yeah, you know, that's better than come over here, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of women are into that because a lot of women, they see themselves as bitches, not in a derogatory way, but they just want to submit because they see you as top dog. So they want to be your bitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. If I'm calling you a bitch disrespectfully, then you have all rights to be offended. But if it all depends on how, I mean, our sisters call each other bitch jokingly, but if it's being said in a disrespectful manner, then they're not going to respond the same way.
Okay, let's flip the switch. Let's use God's advocate. So what about would you let a Caucasian call you a nigga, even if it's out of a term of endearment? Like, what's up, my nigga? You know, so
I never have. And get me wrong, I have Caucasian friends. You know, I just think that based on etiquette, there's certain things we just don't play. Period. Like if I have a Caucasian friend, I'm not gonna blatantly call him a cracker. "Yo, bring your crack ass over here." No, if he say bring your nigga ass over here, it's gonna be a fight. So I just believe that there's certain lines we just don't cross with certain things.
So why you think that's a double standard though? Like you think
because life is full of double standards. Because life is full of double standards. And then I think if you're just using the word nigga blatantly without overstanding the derivative of the word or where the word originates from and what it actually means, I think you're ignorant as fuck. Because the actual is negus, right? Stemming back from Ethiopia, if I'm not mistaken, meaning emperor or king. So it's wordplay when they take these words and use it to have a negative, to use it and derive something negative from it. So if you've been saying nigga all your life, I remember when my wife and I first started hanging around people in this particular social circles, like the underlying narrative all the time was nigga. They never understood till we took the time to start breaking it down to them, because we used to always be peace queen, peace king. To this day, I still be peace king, peace queen. But everyone doesn't deserve to be a king. Everybody doesn't deserve to be a queen. So I'll treat you that way when you exhibit the characteristics of that. Because before I used to just hand the title over, and titles are to be earned. You dig me? In my younger days. So I'll say nigga, but I know where the word derives from. And I know when it's the appropriate time to use it. You dig what I'm saying? But I know there's never an appropriate time for any of my Caucasian counterparts to refer to me in such a way.
Listen, I don't call women queens anymore because it seems like that shit is played out now. Because a lot of women, they see dudes use that shit as a pickup line. And if they don't get what they want, if the dudes don't get what they want out of the conversation, that queen will turn into a bitch. So that's why
I've never wavered. I've never wavered. If that's how I view you and this is how I refer to you, then that's the way it's gonna be. And I have some women that I don't even refer to them as a queen. I call them God. Which in my, from my perspective, that's a whole higher state. Where she's walking in her God state. You understand what I'm saying? And very seldom women can get that from me.
So do you think that you're making a woman your equal if you call them God? And do you think is a form of simping?
No, she is. A woman is always my equal. A woman may be my superior, to be honest with you.
So do you think that's a form of simping though, to put a woman on a pedestal?
No, she belongs on the pedestal, bro. Listen, a woman, in my humble opinion, a woman is God. She birthed everything on this motherfucking planet that looks like me. She birthed every human being on this planet. So if scientifically, if we do some research, that's where you have the rumors of the Amazon women, right? You hear these stories, but of course, you know, they whitewashed it. Women were asexual, right? You go far back in time, right? This the way they break it down in science. When you had the two X chromosomes, right? I'm sound like a little nerd for a second, but this is theory. At one point, things evolved. So that piece of the X broke off to be a Y into the Y chromosome, and the clitoris became elongated because you were in harsh environments and needed more brute strength, which is the birth of man. So in order to track a man's lineage, you have to go through the woman. Even when you look at it in nature, that's one thing that's consistent in the pride, the lioness. The males come and go all the time. That's why the first human life they can track back is Lucy, right? I'm just going based on information they put out there. So for me, she's a stargate. She births everything. She births the king. She births, even though we're physically stronger, woman teaches you everything, bro. Game, how to tie your shoes, how to fight, how to deal with certain situations. You learn all that shit from your mama. You learn certain things from your father as you start to get a little bit older, or from the male figure in your life. So I don't think she deserves to be on the pedestal. You understand what I'm saying to you? So it's not, you know.
I think that a woman, your mother is God until you reaches a certain age, as far as your household, and then the father takes over. You know, I think that's what I'm gonna say. But however, if you say that the woman is God, then I don't want to hear this, I'm not going 50-50 shit. You God, motherfucker. So
yeah, but I don't want to hear that shit neither.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I think that when you because I got into a little discussion on the books on my Facebook feed. This one sister, she's like, oh, it was basically that her not wanting to go 50-50. And my whole shit is this. So you want all of the perks and the benefits that comes along with the way this particular social system is set up, which is set up by our oppressor, and you want none of the responsibility.
Listen,
that ain't no real woman, bro.
It's pretty much modern women who want to be traditionalists at their convenience. At their convenience, they want to be traditionalists, but they're modern. You feel me? And this is not our grandfather's times where only the men could work. Only the men could work, and there were no inflation. And you could raise a family. You could raise a family of 10 working at a fucking factory. You feel me? And also, you know, I do think that men should be the providers. They should be the providers and the protectors.
Yeah.
You know, the providers, the protectors, and whatnot. But at the same
I'm with that, Wave.
Huh?
I'm with that. I'm with that.
At the same time, we're living in a microwavable society where people want me instead of we. You feel? And when I say we, I'm not saying yes in French, goddammit. It's about a partnership, because the reason why our grandfathers did not live past a certain age, they relatively died young, is because they worked back-breaking hours. You feel me? To provide for their family. On that note, this has been another episode of Swingers After Dark, and this is your host, Not Son, baby. Check out my website at www.notsonblaze.com. That's www.nahsunblaze.com, and check out my ebook, Fuck. Yes, you heard right, F-U-C-K, Fuck. It's on Nook, Kindle, iBooks, Google Play. Go get it. It'll make you say, ow. And shoot me an email at swingpodcast@gmail.com. That's swingpodcast@gmail.com. Hit me up with any questions or concerns that you may have. Rate, share, subscribe, and comment on this podcast. Dig. And on that note, until next time, peace. And don't kiss them hoes in the mouth, baby.